Welcome, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to the March 2025 TDL Member Forum. I'm Christy Park. I'm the Executive Director of the Texas Digital Library. And I will start today by acknowledging the Indigenous peoples who have lived or currently live in the physical places from which we're all joining the meeting today, all located on the indigenous lands of Turtle Island, the ancestral name for what is now called North America. I'm joining from Austin, Texas, where the Tonkawa were among the traditional stewards of the land before their forcible removal. And I invite you to share your own land acknowledgements in chat if you would like to. We will follow our usual agenda. I'm joined today, as usual, by our Deputy Director, Courtney Muma, and Outreach Coordinator, Kiara Hunt, in providing updates. I want to say thank you to Megan Hernandez for managing our slides this morning and acknowledge the presence of several other TDL staff in attendance today. Glad all of you are here. All right, so I want to start out with just a quick update on our governing board and say a big welcome to our newest member of the TDL governing board, Ramona Holmes, director of the Gibson D. Lewis Library at UNT Health Science Center. She joins the board this month as a member at large, filling a seat vacated by Paul Sharp at UT RGV, who moved on to another position outside of the TDL membership. Member-at-large seats have a 3-year term. This one concludes in August of 2027. So we're so grateful to Ramona for agreeing to this term of service, and we really look forward to working with her on the board. I also want to share that with the retirement of Diane Bruxfort from UNT Libraries, that Cyan Brannon, as the interim university librarian there, will fill UNT's permanent seat on the board on an interim basis. So welcome to Cyan as well. The TDL Governing Board meets next on June 6th, and you can see a full list of our governing board members and our member board members and executive officers on our governance page on our website, and we'll put a link to that in chat. Next, we'll move into our services and project updates, starting with our DSpace hosting services. Since our last forum in February, our DSpace tech lead, Nick Woodward, has begun upgrading our hosted repositories to DSpace version 8.1. We've upgraded 4 repositories so far, with a few more scheduled out over the next couple of weeks. And we'll put some links in chat where you can get more info about the upgrade process, schedule, and the new version itself. As I've mentioned before, version 8 does have a few new features, but it looks very similar to version 7, just in terms of the look and feel of the interface. But more than anything, we are seeing some significant performance improvements with the upgrade, noticeable ones, more resiliency to heavy bot traffic and some faster page loading, and better logs that help us with troubleshooting. So we're seeing good things from the upgrade. We hope you will too. They're going smoothly with the exception of a few scheduling hiccups this week, but we're forging ahead, and we'll get those done hopefully by early summer. I also want to note while I'm talking about repositories that the program schedule for the 2025 International Conference on Open Repositories is now publicly available at the link that we'll put in chat. Open repositories, as I know y'all are aware, holds a pretty unique place in the world of open knowledge, open source, and digital preservation conferences, and it's one TDL is frequently represented at. I will be there in June, and I'm serving on the program committee this year. Courtney will be there, and Nick Woodward and Chris Starcher representing TDL staff. And our members will also be represented in the program, excuse me, through a number of presentations. I've listed one of those here from members of the DSpace and Vireo users group. where they'll be presenting on our Vireo and DSpace integration. Okay, and then next up, a request from the TDL OJS users group that I want y'all to be aware of. The users group will be hosting a session during TCDL in May to answer your most burning questions about how the Open Journal Systems application works and how TDL members use it to support library publishing. So to make the most of that time together, the group is looking for your ideas for things to address or to demo in the session. And we have a Google form for you, which we'll put into chat, where you can submit your questions or ideas for topics for discussion or demonstration. And we hope that you'll let us know about that. And I think that's it for me. I'm going to hand it now over to Courtney to continue our updates.
Thanks, Christy. Hi, everybody. I'm going to start with Vireo update. So first, much thanks and a round of applause to our sysadmin, Nick Lawlin, and our TDR lead developer, Frank Smutniak, for completing our annual upgrade of the Texas Data Repository's Dataverse software. Getting to version 6.5, which is the version we're now in, meant some notable changes, including better bot management and improved metrics. Additionally, thanks to our TDR Steering Committee Features and Add-ons review team, we've added the binder previewer and support for external vocabulary services. And we actually added 2 external vocabularies, one for institution, which is the ROR ID or ROR ID, and author, the ORCID ID. Frank's also going to work on adding more external vocabularies over the course of the year, informed by the requests of the TDR Steering Committee. You can read lots more about all the changes from the last several releases up to 6.5 at the link in chat if you're interested. Additionally, I want to follow on to Christy's note about conferences and congratulate the TDR Steering Committee's subgroups on data retention and larger data on getting proposals accepted to iAssist and Open Repositories. At Open Repositories, the Data Retention Group will present Advancing Data Stewardship, Developing a Research Data Retention Policy at the Texas Data Repository. And the larger data group will present Scaling Up, Expanding Data Repository Support for Growth in Large Data Sets. And then also, shout out at iAssist, Michael Shensky will present We're going to Need a Bigger Boat, Scaling Up Repository Support for Larger Data on behalf of the larger data team as well. And finally, I also want to offer kudos to Brian G. from UT Austin for his presentation, Development of an Open Automated Workflow for Gaining Bibliometric Insights into University Research Data Publishing at RDAP last week. Excuse me, guys. And next up, a Vireo update. The Vireo open source community developers are currently contributing a Vireo community development sprint from March 17th to the 28th. If you're interested in seeing what they're working on, you're welcome to check out the issues and bugs being worked on in the Vireo GitHub, which we'll link to. It's also not too late to join the crew. Just reach out to either me or to the Vireo user group listserv to get connected with the dev team. After the sprint, we will update the community about the changes via the Vireo user group listserv. And additionally, our lead developer, Frank Smutniak, will upgrade the TDL members with the new version. Don't worry, we expect this upgrade to be minimally disruptive, and we'll work with members to make sure the timing is right for all of them. Excuse me. Next, we'll move into our community updates with our outreach coordinator, Kiara Hunt.
Thanks, Courtney. Hello, everyone. I'm happy to share some of our community updates and announcements with you all. So first up, we are celebrating the 20th anniversary of TDL this year, and we invite you to share your memories from over the years from 2 decades. So you can reminisce, recognize colleagues, and document your contributions to the TDL community. Anyone can contribute to the reflection book by filling out the form, which we'll link in the chat, and you can submit as many entries as you like through March 30th. More information about our 20th anniversary will also be available in the chat. Next, registration is now open for TCDL 2025. The early bird deadline to get your tickets is Friday, April 25th. All ticket rates are listed in the link in the chat that will include, and just a note that separate registration is required for workshops and lunch on day one. So if you have any questions about registration for TCDL, please feel free to email us at info@tdl.org. Next up, check out our special rates for TCDL 2025 hotels for the Hampton Inn and Fairfield Inn and Suites near the Domain area in Austin, Texas, which is very close to the Commons Conference Center. Take advantage of these rates before April 29th for the Hampton Inn and May 1st for Fairfield Inn and Suites. Also available on our TDL website is a local resources guide for recommended restaurants, coffee shops, stores, for any last minute necessities and more. And we'll include all those details in the link in chat. Next, a reminder that students from Texas iSchool or LIS programs can apply for free registration to TCDL. TCDL provides opportunities for professional development and networking within the digital library community in Texas and beyond. So 4 students will be selected and awarded complimentary registration to the conference, and you can apply by Sunday, March 23rd. That's coming up really soon. More details about requirements and eligibility will be in the chat. Next, you can participate in our book and donation drive at TCDL to benefit the Inside Books Project. Inside Books Project works to promote reading, literacy, and education among incarcerated individuals and to educate the general public on issues of incarceration. We'll share more about the Inside Books Project in the link in the chat, and we'll have more details about the books that are most in need. Next, the call for proposals is now open for the Open Education Conference happening October 28th through 30th in Denver, Colorado, and online. The Open Education Conference is an annual convening for sharing and learning about open educational resources, open pedagogy, and open education initiatives. Each year, it draws more than 1,000 educators, librarians, students, and other professionals to exchange the latest ideas, best practices, research in the growing open education field. The deadline to submit your proposal is Friday, April 4th at 11:59 Pacific time, and we'll share more details about the conference in the chat. Next, registration is now open for 2025 Library Publishing Forum. The conference is virtual and takes place May 5th through 8th. The Library Publishing Forum is an annual conference bringing together representatives from libraries engaged in or considering publishing initiatives to define and address major questions and challenges, to identify and document collaborative opportunities, and to strengthen and promote the community of practice. The forum is sponsored by the Library Publishing Coalition, but you do not need to be a member of the LPC to attend. And we'll share more details about the conference, about the forum in the chat. Next, the call for proposals is now open for this year's DLF Forum, which takes place November 16th through 19th, also in Denver, Colorado. The submission deadline for proposals is Monday, April 14th. The DLF Forum and Learn at DLF attendees are a multidisciplinary cross-sector audience of people who work in the digital library, museum, archives, and cultural heritage fields, from librarians, project managers, curators, technologists, and developers to administrators and service providers. So it's very open to almost everyone. The forum welcomes practitioners from academic, art, and cultural heritage, and nonprofit organizations, government agencies, and more. We'll share more details about the forum in the chat. Alrighty, here are some upcoming meetings happening at TDL. So on Monday, March 24th at 3 p.m., we have the DSpace Users Group meeting. On Friday, March 28th at 2 p.m., we have the GIS Interest Group meeting. On Thursday, April 3rd at 10 a.m., we have the OJS User Group meeting, which has actually been canceled. So just a note about that. On Tuesday, April 8th at 3 p.m., we have the OER Users Group meeting. On Thursday, April 10th at 10 a.m., we have the imaging group around to it. And on Thursday, April 10th, also at 3 p.m., we have the Open Knowledge Access Interest Group meeting. And you can check out all of our upcoming meetings at tdl.org. And we'll also include a link to our April What's Happening at TDL in the chat. Next, you can check out the latest TDL announcements for upcoming meetings, events, and programs on our social media channels and in our bi-monthly email newsletter and announcements listserv. We'll share the link to our Get Involved page in the chat where you can connect with TDL on many different platforms. And if you would like to contribute any news, announcements, project updates, or other content for an upcoming issue of the TDL newsletter, we would like to hear from you. If you have any ideas that you want to contribute to the TDL community, you can email us at info@tdl.org with your ideas. And that's it for community updates. Thanks, everyone. And back over to you, Christy.
Thanks, Kiera, and thanks, Courtney, for those updates. We have time for questions if anybody has them, and I just want to remind you about our anonymous feedback form, which is linked there on the slide. You can use that if you want to send us a question anonymously. We'll go ahead and turn off recording, and you can feel free to